Part one, we're going to be looking at kettlebells. Kettlebells are probably the best place to start when it comes to deadlifting. We can manage how much weight we use, because another thing that I mention with regards to building strength is not to throw ourselves in the deep end and do what is traditional strength training, which is heavy weight training. What we need to do is we need to condition the body, and we need to build capacity within the body potentially with lighter weights. If you want to know more stuff like that, hit the link in the description or go through to my newsletter where I share more information about strength training as we get older, but not only the strength training, but how we get into it. So what are the advantages of using kettlebells? Well, the first thing is that the handles are off the floor. So we don't have to go down quite as high. So we come into this position. So we've got, similar to a hex bar and a deadlift, we've got the weights up a little bit higher so we can manage the range of movement. So if I can't hinge at the hip and get down there, what I can do is I've got the handles a little bit further up where I can get down to. Now, if I can only get down this far and I still can't reach them, the best thing to do is to lift the weights up off the floor and develop the hip range of movement to be able to get down further. What you see a lot of people do is when they do it, they go down into position, they can't get down there, so they flex their back to do it. That eventually is going to turn into a problem. So what we need to be able to do, as I mentioned, when we need to build into strength training, we need to get the range of movement. And because we can manage the weight of the kettlebells, because these two kettlebells are 16, you can go lighter if you need to. What you can do is you can manage that. So you can lift the lighter weights. If you need to lift them up off the floor, then you can start there. You can build up the weight and work your way down to the floor as well. So that's one of the big advantages of kettlebells, is the fact that you can manage the weight that you use a lot more easily, and you can lift the weight up off the floor and you can still stand over them. What the standing over them does is it reduces the lever. If I try and come into that position and then lift, it's going to be very difficult because the lever's that much longer. But if I can stand right over them, then I can lift them up a lot more easily, because then I don't have the lever. I've taken that away because I'm able to stand over them. So they're much more adaptable in how we can lift. We can shorten and lengthen levers accordingly. We can drop and raise weight accordingly, and we can drop and raise the weight accordingly to our range of movement, which then gives us time to build the capacity to be able to do more. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm lifting 2 up, but if necessary, I can just have 1. If I need to make it lighter, that's 16 kilos. So I can now make it lighter again, and I can build that capacity to go from 16 to 20 kilos to 24 kilos to 28 kilos, and then up to 32 kilos, sorry, when I use 2. Why would I use 2? It builds upper body strength because I've got to hold obviously 1 in each hand on its own, and they're independent of each other. So that makes the kettlebell that much better and more adaptable to the mechanics of our body.